Good day, class. You are welcome to the 7th week of the online classes. Last week we considered the topic ICT and society. We looked at what has been the impact and the contribution of ICT on our society. So this week we'll be continuing with another topic, and the topic for this week class is computer ethics. That is the topic we are going to be considering this week, computer ethics. Now, before we continue, I want to quickly interpret the topic by taking the second word, which is ethic. What do you understand by the word ethic? Ethic is just like a set of moral principles that guide the use of anything. That is ethics. In some field, we call it etiquette. What are the moral principles guiding stuff that we do? For example, one of the ethics of eating, that is dining table ethic or etiquette, we say you don't talk while you eat. That is an ethic. It's a moral principle that has been laid down. So that is a reminder for you that whenever you are talking, you are not expected to whatever you are eating, you're not expected to talk. And why is this principle laid down? Simply for you to observe, table manners, so that you will also be able to guide against any accident that can occur while you eat. So that is just like a summary of what ethics really means. But today we are considering computer ethics. Yes, computer also have ethics. And what do you understand, or what do you mean by computer ethics? They are simply the set of moral rules that guide the use of computers. I'll take that again. The set of moral principles or rules that guide the use of computer. That is, we cannot just afford to use our computers anyhow, and we cannot just afford to use our computer environment anyhow. There are some ethics that binds every user of the computer and every user of the computer environment. So I'm going to start with the computer environment, then we'll go to the computers. The computer environment, for example, as we all know, we have the computer room, which is also called the computer laboratory. So I'll try to explain that. What is a computer laboratory? Laboratory is just a room which contains many networked computers, either for private or for public use. It's just a room that is specifically constructed and organized for computers to be stored and to be used, either for public purposes or for private purposes. Computer laboratory can be found in so many organizations. For example, we have computer laboratory in schools, we have computer laboratory in private companies and offices, we have computer laboratory in government agencies, we have computer laboratories even in some libraries. We have e-library that have computer laboratory. So the computer laboratory is just a room basically where computers are kept or put in order for it to be used, to be utilized, and for proper implementation of whatever you want to do with the computer system. So today we are just going to consider two subtopics. The first one I call computer room. That's the first subtopic we're going to be considering. Computer room requirements. Computer room requirements. And the second subtopic we're going to be considering computer room management ethics. Now, what do you understand by computer room requirement? It means what are those things that are needed or required in a suitable computer laboratory or a computer room? What are those things that are required when setting up a computer room, a computer laboratory? Because that is what will bring out the ethics, that is the rules, the principles that must be obeyed and followed in a computer laboratory. Number one, a spacious room with good cross ventilation. I may not be able to write all the notes now, but I'll give you the notes when we get back to the WhatsApp platform. Number one, I said a spacious room with good cross ventilation. That is, a computer laboratory should not just be a small room, it should be a spacious room. Not just that it should be a spacious room, but it should have good cross ventilation. What does that mean? There should be passage of air or breeze coming into the laboratory through the side of the window, through one side of the window, and going out through the second side of the window. So a good computer laboratory, number one, must have a spacious place. Not only that, it must have a good cross ventilation. The second requirement, what other thing do you think we need in order to set up a computer laboratory? Number two, we need a reliable power supply. We need a reliable power supply. And why do we need a reliable power supply? As we all know that from the definition of what a computer is, we've been taught that a computer is an electronic device. So meaning that the computer is a device which cannot do without electricity. Whether you are using a laptop computer or a desktop computers, I'm sure we all know that a laptop computer makes use of backup batteries, while the desktop computers use the power directly from the source socket. Although this power also can be sustained for a particular time if you decide to connect it with a UPS. UPS, I mean uninterruptible power supply. That is UPS. So for a desktop computer, you may decide also to make use of the UPS, which can sustain your computer system even when there is power outage. But the basic thing is that a computer laboratory or room must have a reliable power supply. So when you are setting up a computer system, you should put that as part of your requirements and consideration in setting up a good computer laboratory. Another thing is that a computer laboratory must have office furnitures. Office furnitures. By furnitures, I mean a good table, a good chair where you can sit comfortably and rest your arms. If there is anything like that, even if there is no place you can rest your arm, at least a good furniture that you can place your computers, whether they are desktop or laptops, and a good seat that you can sit on, the user of the computer, comfortably. So that is also very necessary in setting up a computer laboratory. So number four, we have effective cooling system. That is another requirement of the computer room or computer laboratory. Effective cooling system. What do I mean by that? It means that in a computer laboratory, you must have cooling systems such as fans and air conditioners. These are systems that make the computer room or computer environment to be cool. And why do we need this? It's because the computer as a machine generates so much heat that if there is no cooling system that is effective in the computer room environment, then the computer may begin to develop some faults as a result of the overheating of the components or the panel of the computer systems. So in order for the computer system to be well maintained, you need to make use of them in an environment that has effective cooling system. In order to complement, like I told you in class last term, I said every computer system has a fan attached to the motherboard, close to the CPU, the central processing unit. Within the system unit, there is a fan attached. This fan is primarily to cool the hotness of the computer system. But in order for you to maintain your computer system well, then you need an effective cooling system to complement the fan attached to the CPU. Then we have another one, which is number 5, fire extinguisher. Just in case if there is fire outbreak, you need a fire extinguisher to put off the fire. So these 5 things are majorly required in setting up a computer laboratory. So secondly, quickly, before we continue on the WhatsApp platform, we have computer room management ethics. Computer room management ethics. That is, what are the principles that guide the computer room? So whenever you want to go into a computer room, either in your school or in a government organization or in an office, anywhere, these are the things that you must take note. Number one, do not eat or drink in the computer room. Do not drink or eat in the computer room. It's very, very important. Just like when you get to filling station, you will see inscription, do not smoke, because it is very dangerous when you smoke in filling station. Same thing applies to computer environment. Do not eat or drink, because when you do this, it can cause damage to the computers. Number two, maintain a clean and a dust-free environment. Maintain a clean and a dust-free environment, because dust can equally damage the component of the computer system. Number three, maintain a well-lighted laboratory. A well-lighted laboratory. That is, your computer laboratory must have a good light. That is, the light must be so bright so that you as the user can see all the cables or the components of the computer system without damaging any. Especially for those of us using desktop computers, you may need to insert the cables at the back of the system unit, and you discover that there are some pins at the back which you need to insert properly. So you need a well-lighted environment for you to be able to fix those components properly. Then finally, the computer room must be well ventilated, just like I have mentioned under the requirements. It must be well ventilated, meaning that there must be so much air in the computer laboratory, be it the natural cross ventilation coming in through the window, the air coming through the window, or through the cooling system, that is the fan and the ACs. So we're going to continue with that on our WhatsApp platform. So if you have any questions, you should drop it on the WhatsApp. Thank you. See you there.